MLS will still start a little earlier than, say, like the English Premier League, because English Premier League typically starts in August, I believe. So it'll still
And
be
that's
a
when we're
little.
starting, right?
We're starting in, they say, mid to late July. I'm guessing it'll
Oh,
probably be closer to the later part of July.
I
So this
gotcha.
will make it easier to align with the global transfer market. What's going on, my friend? And
Hey,
welcome
hey.
back to another episode of No Other Pod. I'm Jimmy, along with my good buddy Dan. Dan, I realized as I did that intro, I said my friend singular. So I have one friend listening to this podcast, apparently.
Yes, that Sporting KC off season, I could imagine it's not much more than one person. So thank you for the download today.
How you doing, my friend?
Man, I'm doing all right. It's
You got a haircut?
yeah. No, just kind of styling it a little different. Probably gonna get a little haircut tomorrow, but
Okay.
been blow drying the hair. I'm
Ah,
trying something a little new, you know.
glad you said drying after that.
What? Just just blow drying. Get out of here, dude. What do you your work day's almost over. You're feeling rambunctious. I get it.
No, I'm running on lack of sleep because I was in LA for most of the, or for all the weekend,
Mm.
and my planes got all shifted around with everything crazy going on at the airports last week, so I got very little sleep, and then it rained the entire time I was in Los Angeles.
Oh, wow.
So it was bad.
That's unheard of.
Yeah, it was. I went back to go. I always go back once a year to go to a USC football game with my family.
Yeah, you're playing a tuba this time.
This was homecoming. They invited all the band alumni back, so I went back to play my tuba. I haven't played my tuba in any sort of real way in 15
Or
years.
sousaphone, I guess.
Technically, it's a sousaphone.
Okay. I was like, let's be real. We're musicians.
Yes,
All
it's
right.
sousaphone. So I went back, and as I'm watching the weather the week leading up to it, it's like, 2 inches of rain, actually 3 inches of rain, actually 4 inches of rain. And then they were closing roads in Los Angeles because they're still recovering from the wildfires that happened, or not just wildfire, the fires that happened. And so there's all sorts of loose earth everywhere. So they had to close canyon roads. And then I had a band rehearsal Friday night because I'm basically, for the weekend, was reliving my college days. Band rehearsal in the rain. Band rehearsal Saturday morning at 7 a.m. in the rain. Then the game in the rain, and then post game in the rain. I legit looked like I jumped in a pool when it was all said and done. I did not bring proper attire.
Man, you mentioned wildfires, dude. I watched that wildfire movie on Apple TV with Matthew McConaughey.
Oh yeah,
called like The Lost Bus,
mm-hmm.
and it's like true story
Mm-hmm.
is what this was, and I've never been so horrified. There are Apple TV does have movies, by the way. You never know it. They don't freaking advertise their stuff.
Yeah.
No, but they have really good stuff on there. But I'm surprised they're still kicking.
Yeah. But it was fun. I got to go back, and it's weird. Like, if I have a concert tuba here, and like I pulled it out the night before I left, and I was like trying to practice a little bit, and then I looked at the music they sent us, and then I remembered, oh yeah, the music that they wrote however many years ago doesn't match what we actually play. So I'm like, that's not right. And so I'm trying to remember it, and I can't really. And then it was like muscle memory just clicked in when I put the tuba on and stepped on the field. Suddenly I was like, oh, I can play this still. I know how to do it.
I'm good again.
Well, I don't know if I go that far.
Did you see a lot of people that you knew? Like, you have friends that showed up?
Yeah, most of the people who were there from the tuba section actually were like from my era, which was kind of cool. So we just kind of remade our section, so much so that even after rehearsal on Friday, my friend was like, we going to Korean barbecue, which is what we used to do on Friday before games. And so we all went out to the literal same all-you-can-eat Korean barbecue spot we went to 15 years ago. It was a bunch of mid-30-year-olds literally basically reliving our college days.
Well,
so
man, not everyone gets to do that, and it's kind of fun. I know my high school always invites like alumni to come back and sing a certain song.
Yeah.
And I never go.
Yeah.
And it's right down the road.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I get it. High school, I went to my high school reunion for my 10-year, and I was like,
same.
I think I'm glad I did it once, and I don't ever need to go to another one.
See, we just had my 20th, and I was doing, I think I was doing Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
Or no, Groundhog Day? No, Tootsie. I was doing Tootsie at the time. So, like,
Yeah.
I didn't get to go for the 20th.
Yeah. My 20th
Well,
is, God, my 20th is coming up in a couple of years. That's crazy.
coming up.
I
That
know.
40-year-old is chasing you. It's
I will
coming.
say, I am a lot more sore now than I was 2 days after the game 15 years ago because
Naturally.
my
You gotta do
body
this.
is like, what the hell did you just do?
Yeah.
That was crazy.
You don't like lift many weights, right? You kind of just do the cardio thing.
I do cardio. Yeah, I try to do like I don't lift for like gains. It's like pretty low key, just like
Sure.
trying to do like toning type stuff. I actually thinking I need to start lifting more to like build more muscle, but not yet. So
especially as you get older, absolutely.
yeah,
I mean, and you lift lighter weights for like 15 reps instead of 8 to 10.
Right. Yeah. It's but no, I feel it on my left shoulder because 2 was 26 pounds and it all sits right there on your left shoulder. And I feel like to this day, I still have left back problems from all those years of like overcompensating from this tuba just sitting on my shoulder for, 25 hours a week. But
right.
it is what it is. It was fun. I had a good
time.
And we won, even though it was in the rain. We beat Iowa. So that was good. I was happy.
Was there a question that you would? Was that?
I mean, we were number 17. They were number 21. We went down 14-0 to start the game. It was raining. And I was like, this sucks. But my friend and I did sneak into the suite level. And so we got prime rib and free drinks for most of the first half.
Dude, hell yeah. I love sneaky business. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
We belong here. It's just, we're supposed to be here. We have fast,
It got a little questionable at one point because we went to go into the suites because he had like a band credential that like shouldn't get you into the suites. And he tried to show it. And the guy was like, no, you need a wristband. He goes, are you sure? Because this normally gets me in. The guy was like, no, you need a wristband. He goes, well, where do I get a wristband? Point to a table over there. So he walks to that table and there's some like high school kids working it. And he goes, he says I'm supposed to get a wristband. And the kid like looks at somebody else.
No.
And then I just put my wrist out and the kid goes, okay. And then gives us 2 wristbands. And then we walk.
And this was for drinks and food and stuff?
Yep. My.
Listen to you. I love it. I love it. It's
I gave USC enough of my money over the years. They can give me a couple of drinks.
That's rascal behavior right there.
It is
You're a bit of a rascal.
I told you, reliving my college days.
Well, at least you had a favorable outcome, dude, because my sports teams haven't been doing shit. Okay? Ever since KC Current lost that weekend and KU football and basketball did the same.
Yeah.
At least KU basketball turned it around this week, but Alabama losing to Oklahoma, dude.
Oof.
That was crazy.
I saw that when I was sitting there in the rain. I look up and I was like, what do you mean Alabama's losing?
But Oklahoma played so good. And Alabama kind of threw the ball to them over and over. It was crazy.
K-State lost this weekend too, though. So like everybody's unhappy.
And Chiefs, man, what is going on, dude? Our network relies on the Chiefs doing well. Are we a bad network now?
No.
What does that mean?
Hey, I still believe in the Chiefs' ability to fix it. Look.
They're 5-5 now. Is that what they are?
The road's a little rocky. The road is a little rocky.
You think they can squeeze into that wild card?
Look, anything can happen. And they're still the Chiefs. They get into the playoffs. They can make a run. Travis Kelce can take some Toradol shots for a few weeks and then, become 4 years younger. So
take what? What is that?
Toradol.
I don't know what that is. Where do I get some of that?
It's like what they give NFL players on the sideline. It's like a super painkiller.
Oh,
they just like inject it into some. I've had it one time. I had a knee problem and I went to the health clinic at work and she was like, you want Toradol? And I was like, excuse me? You just stock that here? She's like, yeah, we'll leave your pain for about 8 hours.
I've heard of like cortisone, right?
Yeah, Toradol's like intense.
More intense than cortisone?
I think it might be. I think that's what they use for NFL players when they're like in pain. They're like, get back out there, Toradol, boom.
Oh, dude, that's like that movie Varsity Blues when they took that high school quarterback in the back and they were like, get out of here. It's like, you better not put that in his knee. That was crazy. That's probably Toradol.
I had the shot in my knee. Yep.
Wow.
So, yeah. I basically love Varsity Blues. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So.
Great movie, by the way. Absolutely.
But speaking of the Chiefs, calling all Chiefs fans, you could be on the field at the 50 inside GEHA Field for the official coin toss at a Chiefs home game this season. Visit chiefs.com/GEHA now. Enter to win a chance to be on the field for a once-in-a-lifetime view of the pregame coin toss. Plus, you can score other exclusive prizes. Maybe you're the good luck charm the Chiefs need. Enter for a chance to win at chiefs.com/GEHA. GEHA is the proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll be right back.
Hey, NFL fans, what's your favorite touchdown? For me, it's the next one. And that's because with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, every touchdown could bring you closer to cashing in. First touchdown scores to anytime touchdown props or the thrill of live in-game betting, every snap is loaded with opportunity. And here's the best part. New customers bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets instantly. So your team hitting pay dirt pays out to you. You download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, use code KCSN. That's code KCSN for new customers to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY to 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. Pass-through of per wager tax may apply in Illinois. Must be 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. The bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, visit dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer.
Success in real estate takes more than vision. It takes the right financial partner. When someone takes something rundown and turns it into something great, that's called a comeback story, like Brain Group. They take distressed properties here in KC, completely rework them, and then turn them into valuable real estate. But that kind of work needs the right bank behind it. Enter Emprise Bank. They're not about cookie-cutter loans. They saw Brain Group's vision, backed them, and now they're making big moves in Kansas City real estate. Talk about your partner in possible. Emprise doesn't do one-size-fits-all financing. They invest in potential and back growth. Visit emprisebank.com/KC to learn more. Emprise Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hey, did you see that? Did you see they just released like an Epic Universe documentary?
Did they really? Oh, I need to watch it.
Yeah, it's like a 3-episode docuseries. I'm not sure it's going to say anything that I haven't already seen.
Probably,
but Steven Spielberg's on there talking about how he had a big hand in creating it and stuff. So
yeah, that's cool.
Pretty cool rides out there, man. I hope you get a chance to go check it out.
I just found out that my cousin's having a bachelor party at the end of February. It's a cruise off of Florida. Never been on a cruise, so this will be interesting.
Oh, fun.
And then his wedding is in Florida in April. So either after the bachelor party or after the wedding, I might try to sneak down to Orlando and do a little Universal mini trip. So
wow, that sounds awesome.
Depends on money because I've been spending on some traveling lately.
Yeah, you. I don't want to know if you've had to dip into savings or what. I can't imagine it's been fun.
It's not good. I need to stick around and not go anywhere for a while. So
smart.
We shall see.
Smart.
But speaking of somebody who is not going anywhere, at least for a year, Sporting Kansas City signed a player. Now you are thinking, who did this?
Ring the alarm.
I don't know. How did I do like an ambulance alarm?
You're like a party cop. Woo!
The different kind of party cop. Sporting Kansas City signed a player, and you might be thinking, who did they sign? Is this a designated player? Is this going to be a key piece? They signed homegrown midfielder Chelo. Hold on, I want to make sure I get his name right. I looked this up. Chelo, right? Okay. Chelo Tashantret is how they say the pronunciation on Sporting Kansas City's website. But Sporting Kansas City signed academy product Chelo Tashantret as a homegrown player. He's 19 years old. He's a midfielder, and he signed a 2-year MLS contract through 2027 with club options for 2028 and 2029. So he's the 23rd homegrown player to come from the Sporting Kansas City Academy. He's the club's 4th homegrown signing in the last year, following Jacob Bartlett, Ian James, and Jack Courtcamp. So he's appeared in 56 matches for Sporting Kansas City 2 as an amateur and a professional from 2023 through 2025. He has 6 goals and an assist. So they clearly see something in Tashantret to give him a senior team contract for 2 years here. A lot of times, sometimes these players only even get signed for 1 year and then a club option after that. So they've locked him up for 2 years. This is clearly not going to be a starter or probably a significant contributor early on, but they see something in him, and you never know because Jansen Miller wasn't supposed to be a starter this year, and look what happened.
Well, as someone who watches SKC2 occasionally, he's been the best thing on that team for a minute. They were so bad this past year, like things just weren't good. In addition, Ike Opara's not returning to the team.
Yeah, that's a bummer. I mean, I get it, but
dude, I have a good couple of friends that live next door to Ike Opara. They have dinner on occasion. I'm like, hold up, when's your guy getting an invitation to the next dinner party?
When are we going to dinner with Ike?
That's what I'm talking about. Like, let's have a conversation. I'll bring my bobblehead.
I do wonder
a bobblehead.
I did run into Ike Opara in downtown, like near Westport.
Oh, really?
Like when he was playing, and like Kansas City's pretty chill with professional athletes. I mean, like Patrick and Travis, I'm sure get their share of stuff, but like
I'm sure
Ike was just kind of walking around. Like I didn't bother him. I was just like, hey, Ike, big fan. He's like, oh, cool, thanks, and that was kind of it. But like it's just so funny when you see these players out and about,
right
in Kansas City, and
now we got Matt Beasler, who's like in charge of like youth soccer teams right now. Right. Chip was telling me the other day that he has a friend who's trying to get their daughter into soccer and has had like a texting convo with Matt Beasler about it.
That's awesome.
And it's like just an MLS Cup champion doing regular dad stuff now.
That's awesome. But I feel like we need, because like we have Sporting Lee's Summit here, which is a pretty established like youth soccer league over here on the Missouri side. And then I know in Olathe and Overland Park, there's the Garmin and Overland Park soccer complexes. So there's a lot of youth soccer sort of like in those concentrated areas. But I feel like there still needs to be more accessible youth soccer options, because for some of these kids, like my niece and nephew are in Sporting Lee's Summit, and it's a great program. They've learned so much. They love soccer now. And again, as I mentioned before, a huge portion of that is because of the KC Current. But it's also like it is a demanding schedule. There is a pretty significant cost involved. So I hope there are more youth soccer opportunities for people around the metro to give them more locations, to give them more scheduling flexibility, to give them more financial choices, because the best way we can get more players eventually for Sporting Kansas City or the KC Current is to give more youth soccer options so kids can fall in love with the game, develop, and then go on to whatever they want to do. So, and come to my TED Talk. But you're right. Ike won't be coming back. I do wonder if he'll be with Sporting in some other capacity, because all it says is the interim head coach Ike Opara will not be returning to SKC2 in 2026. Maybe he still wants to be a coach and likes Kansas City and can be a positional coach or something. I don't know.
I don't know.
But to Shantrit, this is I'm very interested to see how this happens. He sort of jumped to that professional level in 2024. He started 14 of the 2022 appearances, scored a game-winning goal against St. Louis 2. He had the captain's armband in 2025. He played in 28 of their 29 matches, second on the team with nearly 2,400 minutes. So this is a quality player that at 19, this is the next step. And I'm very excited to see him develop. Are we in the Open Cup next year? I think so. I think if I remember, have they announced that yet? I want to say.
I don't think so.
Are we not? Is there no?
No, I don't think they've announced it.
Okay.
Things are changing all the time.
Well, yes. And we'll get into that in a second. But with the World Cup next year, I don't know if we're having, quite frankly, an Open Cup or not next year, because the World Cup will be sort of like right in that Open Cup time frame is how they would normally do it. But
dude, yeah. Well, speaking of the World Cup, while we're doing little odds and ends, KC Live is having a big World Cup draw party on Friday, December 5th.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which could have a lot of players there making appearances. I know Matt Beasler is slated to be there as well.
Yep, absolutely.
I don't know. Do you have any interest in going down to that?
Maybe. Honestly,
you got to take off work though. I mean, it's like a whole thing.
I probably would have to take off work because it's a Friday. Doors open at 9, festivities begin at 10.
Yeah,
but I mean, this is a big deal. Jimmy Conrad's going to be there. Matt Beasler's going to be there. There's going to be coffee pop-ups, photos, autographs, giveaways, and such. And we are going to learn, essentially, who is going to be in the group stage matches here in Kansas City on June 16th, 20th, 25th, and 27th. Yeah. And then there's
who plays who and who plays where.
Right. So this is kind of a once in a lifetime opportunity for Kansas City soccer fans to have this sort of thing. Obviously, next year when the World Cup comes, it'll be even more of a once in a lifetime opportunity. But I don't know. Are you thinking of heading down to this event?
I don't know if I could. I got pretty busy Fridays, and then I know that night I have a show. So
yeah,
probably shouldn't.
And what's interesting is so teams will get placed in the final draw. So basically, how it works is there's a final draw. Teams will be placed into 12 groups of 4 teams each because there's 48 teams now. The U.S., Canada, and Mexico, as the host teams, have been placed in groups A, B, and D, respectively. Teams in groups E, F, and J will play their group stage matches in Kansas City. So we already know we are not getting U.S., Canada, or Mexico in the group stage. Our only chance of getting one of those is in the round of 32 games. But when we know who's in group E, who's in group F, and who's in group J, those teams will be playing in Kansas City for the group stage. So those are the groups that we'll be wanting to pay attention to. So we shall see. And then after the draw, and teams know like where they're going to be situated, teams then deliver their final base camp preferences to FIFA, which is basically where they are headquartered for the duration of the tournament as long as they're in it in practice. And we have 3 potential training spots in Kansas City that are base camp set up. The SKC training facility in KCK, the KC Current training facility in Riverside Mo, and then Rock Chalk Park in Lawrence, Kansas. So I've heard some rumors that a certain English national team would like to be headquartered in Kansas City because it's central in the country. So no matter which coast they fly to, they're never going to have a cross-country flight because they plan to be in the tournament beyond the group stage.
Yeah, wouldn't everyone want to set up shop in Kansas City, though, for that exact reason?
You would think.
100%.
So, but it's, yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. This is crazy that we are, 8 months away from the World Cup? That's wild.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool that, like, we're going to host 4 group stage matches, a round of 32 match, and also a quarterfinal. It's pretty nice. Even though I'll probably never get tickets, as I've been trying, I don't imagine we'll get them.
I've been trying to, and I don't think either of us got like the Visa card holder pre-sale.
There's another one right now, right?
Is there? I don't know. Who knows?
I'm pretty sure we've entered into another one that gets announced sometime later. I don't know.
I probably won't get that either. I've looked at the hospitality packages that they put up because I was like, I'm just curious. And I was like, I can't.
Nope.
They're like well over $1,000 a person.
I know
that's not happening. But there has been a part of me that's like, should I just leave the city for that week and Airbnb my house out for like a month's worth of mortgage? Because I bet I probably could.
That's pretty crazy.
I don't know that I will, but there's a part of me that's like, probably could.
Yeah.
But then I come back and it'd be like a bunch of like drunk Germans have trashed my house.
That is the risk you take. Airbnb horror stories, man. They clog your toilet and it just floods your place,
Right. And I've already had too many home issues with this place. I don't know that it's worth the risk.
Right.
But who knows? We'll see. But it's interesting. So I am looking forward to that. The World will be coming to Kansas City. And speaking of the World, MLS is trying to align their schedule with the rest of the world. And this has been something that I know you have been asked about in focus groups that you've done with the league.
I was in a focus group. That was fun.
This has been coming for a while. I mean, they were supposed to vote on this a number of months ago, and owners kind of kicked the can down the road. But Major League Soccer on Thursday, November 13th, officially announced that they are shifting its competition calendar to align with the world's top soccer league. So beginning in the summer of 2027, so not this upcoming season, but the following year, MLS will adopt a summer to spring format, marking what they were calling, quote, one of the most significant developments in league history. They're still finalizing a transition plan, but basically the new 2027-2028 regular season will kick off in mid to late July, and they will conclude the Audi MLS Cup playoffs and MLS Cup in late May 2028. So it'll be July to May, And then there will be a midwinter break from mid-December through early February. So basically a 2-month break.
Bro,
With
people
no
were
league
so
matches.
people were so upset about that, and I was like, that's literally our current off season. Like they already take that long of a break. Like what is the problem? It will suck if some team is like super hot and then boom, winter break time, and then they come back not so good.
Right. And that's what other like Nordic countries, when they play these schedules, they got to do too. Now, what is interesting, I saw someone put up a chart. It's something like 91% of the competition calendar overlaps with the current MLS season. So like really the big difference is we're not playing June and July.
Bro, they're taking away pretty much the hottest part of the summer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would argue August can really get super hot, but like,
especially here,
and my first thing is I liked what we had because you could watch soccer year round, and now you still could. It's just got to be NWSL. Right. You know what I mean? Like that's they're still going to be offset a little bit.
Right. Which is probably good for the NWSL because they're not going to be competing with Sporting Kansas City in those summer, or something about the Current specifically, but they're not going to be competing. They try to do a good job of not having their games overlap, but there were times where you'd be like, I gotta be at the first half of the Current game and then try to miss the second half to see the second half of the Sporting game, and it gets complicated.
Yeah, and for sure. And I think there'll still be a lot of that because they are still playing at the same time that KC Current will play. You know what I mean? It's not much is changing. And I think NWSL also takes like July off. So I don't know. It's not going to change much. This isn't a huge deal when you think about it.
The reason why I am interested in this is because it will. So the MLS will still start a little earlier than, say, like the English Premier League, because English Premier League typically starts in August, I believe. So it'll still be
we're starting, right?
We're starting in, they say, mid to late July. I'm guessing it'll probably be closer to the later part of July. So this will make it easier to align with the global transfer market, because that's the hard thing now is currently MLS's off-season transfer market is the mid-season transfer market for just about everywhere else. So it's hard to make those big moves. Now, the summer transfer market for MLS will be the same as the summer transfer market for, say, the English Premier League or La Liga or whatnot, where they're looking to do major revamps to their rosters. So that's the good thing. Here's the most fascinating part to me. So because this gets weird with like the transition, because next year, 2026, we're still going to have that like February to December season. So then the options were, well, then do you not have soccer from January to July in 2027, or what do you do? Well, so Sporting Kansas City says in their release that before the change to the new calendar, MLS will stage a transition season from February to May 2027, featuring a 14-game regular season, playoffs, and MLS Cup. And the results of that will determine the 2027 qualification for the U.S. Open Cup, Canadian Championship, Leagues Cup, and CONCACAF Champions Cup. So MLS is back. We're getting that tournament back, baby.
It's kind of like that, yeah. I mean, and give me an abbreviated season. Let's get after it. That sounds like a lot of fun. I'd be happy to watch that. I'd be happy to attend in person to that. Mm-hmm. It just feels like bonus soccer, instead of taking so much time off after the end of the previous season.
Yeah.
So this is cool, man. No more FIFA international windows aren't going to mess with your teams anymore. Not that we've had to worry about that for a good while, but a lot of other teams have. Hell, Sporting. I went down to watch Sporting play Miami in Fort Lauderdale, and it was during an international window, and Messi was with Argentina. I was like, can you, that sucks for fans that travel.
You flew all the way down there to, not entirely to see Messi, but it was a big part, I'm sure, of why you originally wanted to go.
It would have been cool, right? It wasn't the main part, but it would have been neat.
Yeah, absolutely. David Lee was quoted as saying that, I believe the competition calendar has the potential for transformational benefits for MLS in the years to come. While the majority of the footprint of matches will remain the same, moving the MLS Cup playoffs, our most important period of the season, to now take place in a less cluttered domestic sports landscape while avoiding the playoffs being interrupted by the international FIFA window will be a significant improvement. And even
playoffs will be in April and May, right? I mean,
yeah. So really the only thing they'll be competing against is like early season baseball, and then that's about when the NBA playoffs are happening.
And Champions League will wrap up at the end of May, right?
Yeah.
And NBA playoffs, like you said. So,
but like currently, the playoffs that are happening right now is, well, one, they're not happening right now because they were interrupted with the international window, like you said, but they're fighting for television viewership with college football. They're fighting with the NFL. So they'll still have to contend with the NBA playoffs potentially, but that's a much easier thing to wrangle than trying to fight against the biggest sport in the country, which is football.
I'd say so, because you can't even watch your favorite NBA team every time. Like, if you want to find, you better have NBA League Pass, or you're not watching your team. It's
right.
You know how hard it is to watch Chicago Bulls. I've been trying to, and I can't.
I forgot you're a Bulls fan.
I try to be, but when they make the playoffs towards the end, I'm like, all right, now I can watch.
Now I can watch. Oh yeah, it's interesting. So lots of great quotes. I mean, they got quotes from just about everybody, including Pochettino, Greg Berhalter, Clint Dempsey. So you can go check those out. But that is a cool shakeup, I would say. I was skeptical at first. I think where they landed will be a net positive.
Yeah.
So I'm choosing to be optimistic.
And right on the heels of that announcement, man, it was told that MLS season pass is no more. Mm-hmm. So now it's all on Apple TV. If you have an Apple TV subscription, you don't need any additional MLS stuff or special code for being a season ticket member. Like, it's just going to be on Apple TV, which is awesome and way less confusing for the casual fan. You know what I mean? You know how many people over the years have probably went to Apple TV being like, what? No, I'm not going to subscribe. I already have it. Like, why can't I watch it? Yeah. Well, that's not the case. You don't have to get MLS season pass. So that's pretty cool.
Nope. Now, if you just have now, I still called it Apple TV Plus, and you were the one who was like, listen, old man, there is no more Apple TV Plus. It's just Apple TV. That was like months ago. So what are you doing? So it's
they were like, groundbreaking new name, folks. We dropped we're no longer Max, we're HBO Max again.
They're like, hold on, I have an idea. What if we bring back HBO? And they're like, great, how much as a consultant? And they're like, $12 million. Awesome, here's your money.
It's all just kind of stupid. But I do wonder, because that was a perk for season ticket members to get free MLS season pass.
Yeah.
Are we going to get an additional perk for being a season ticket members, or is that just, because that was pretty cool. That was like a $70 benefit,
$100.
right?
Well, 79, I think, was what, if you were a season ticket holder for other teams, I don't know. It was weird, but it became a $99 pass event.
That's pretty cool.
So, it was $79 if you already were an Apple TV Plus subscriber, is what
there you
go. But it was $99 if you weren't, unless you were a season ticket holder. Then you got it for free. Unless you're a T-Mobile customer, then you also got it for free. So no more of that.
Pretty neat perk to be, for season ticket members is what I'm saying. And maybe they'll figure something else out, or maybe we just lose that. I don't know.
My guess is season ticket members probably just got one less perk.
That's my guess as well. And a lot of people are going to be upset.
But yes, they're going to be like, what, give me a food voucher or something for that value. Do something.
Hey,
Hey, Sporting, if you're listening, people like food. You want to give them a food voucher for the value of MLS season pass, you're going to win some people over.
That's a lot of money.
So was MLS season pass.
Well, yeah.
So, I'm just saying, it wasn't that long ago, the Houston Dynamo, I want to say, sent a damn jersey to all the season ticket members.
That's pretty crazy.
So there are ways. Especially
I love
if you're
that
trying
stuff.
to win the goodwill of the fans back. It's not the time to skimpy.
I see a lot of NFL season ticket packages that get shipped out, and how cool they are when people unbox them and everything. Mm-hmm. What a neat situation. And we get, Sporting gets like a scarf, right?
Right.
I think it'd be great to give us some more winter gear, man. Hit us up with the whole beanie, gloves, and scarf. You know what I mean?
Actually, that's kind of funny. Now, like, playing on the schedule change, be like, you won't be watching soccer, so get outside. Here's some Sporting KC gloves and a scarf or whatever. Like, you could do a whole thing.
Absolutely. And it's still cold in February and March sometimes.
Right.
You know what I mean? Still, we've gotten snow.
Crazy.
We've gotten snow on Easter before, so it's like, let's load us up and say, hey, here's a Sporting KC blanket for your cold days at the stadium.
I love it.
Very cool.
Absolutely. Brilliant marketing minds.
Yeah.
So, but what was interesting And MLS didn't tout this part of it, but the website Sportico published this report. I don't know if you saw this. So they announced this change where it's coming out from behind the double paywall if you're an Apple TV Plus subscriber and going to just Apple TV. But according to Sportico, as part of this transition, the MLS and Apple deal will now end after the 2028-2029 season, which is 3.5 years earlier than the original scheduled end date. So Apple and MLS initially agreed on a 10-year contract through 2032. And so now it's going to last through 2028 and 2029. Apple did have an opt-out clause after 2027. That is no more, so they can't opt out of 2027. But basically, in 2029, and we'll probably hear about this all in 2028 and maybe even 2027 leading up to it, MLS will basically go back out to market, and we'll see who gets the rights to broadcast MLS once again. So we're going to all be used to Apple and finally have it free and do this for a few seasons. And then, 3 years from now, it may not be on Apple anymore. So,
man, I really like the quality that Apple's been doing too. So, but it could, you never know. They might re-up it too, right?
I might re-up it. I don't think it's a coincidence that this is happening when Messi's final contract is signed and now there's an official end date on it. So,
for sure. Hell, they could mess around and go to Netflix, dude. Netflix has been dabbling in the live events scene.
Now, one thing, you're 100% right, because I will say, the visual quality of the games on Apple has been incredible. You can watch some of these games that are simulcast on Apple and like Fox Sports 1, and it's night and day, the quality in broadcasting. And that some of that has to do with compression of satellite or cable or whatever. But like 1 million out of 1 million times, I'm choosing to watch it on Apple over FS1 if I have those two choices. So hopefully, whether it's Apple who re-ups or Netflix, and Netflix has a decent quality with like WWE, but like whoever picks this up, they do have a lot to live up to in terms of just visual quality of the product.
I know. Visual's amazing.
We'll see. But this is the life of a sports fan. Basically every year now at this point, it's like, oh, I was watching this sport here, and now I have to go over there or to these 4 places to watch the sport. Because if you're a fan of multiple leagues, almost every year something's changing.
Look what wrestling's done. Look what UFC did going to Paramount. I mean, it's pretty wild situation. I mean, even like NFL games going to YouTube for a bit, they're just spreading the wealth
on. Yeah,
there's pretty wild.
There's NFL games everywhere. There's probably Peacock exclusives for playoffs, and
there's an NFL Network exclusive yesterday morning.
NFL
that 8 a.m. game.
And there's Disney Toy Story Pixar games on Disney Plus, and like there's all sorts of stuff going on.
That's true.
But I don't know. The one other thing I wanted to mention about MLS, this is actually going back to the scheduling change, because I don't think we touched on this, is they are probably going to switch as part of this to a single table format, 5 divisions instead of 2 conferences, and they're going to change the MLS playoff structure.
Dude, we're so close to Pro Rel, it's insane.
Well, we're at least close to we're never getting rid of the playoffs, but like this is going to, I'm so curious what this 5 division structure looks like, because I don't really want to be in a situation where our MLS regular season divisions are basically what like our US Open first round cup games used to be, where it's like, oh yeah, we're playing Minnesota, Chicago, or Houston every single time for like 3 games a season each. And then I want to have some sort of variety. I'm a little worried that with the 5 divisions, it's going to be the same teams over and over and over, but
right.
I just hope that MLS, once they pick a format, just stick with it. I'm tired.
That's never going to happen.
Well, I know, but like, I don't know what the playoff format is on any given year.
If someone asked me to explain playoffs this year, I'm not going to lie to you. I might have to look it up and talk them through it. Like off the top of my head, I'm like, I don't really know to confidently say.
I was talking to someone the other day, and they were like, so yeah, it's cool that MLS is best of 3. And I was like, no, but actually like there's one off in the like first game, and then there's one best of 3, and then it goes back to 1. And they're like, what do you mean it goes back to 1? Why would you have a best of 3 series in just one round? And then everything else is this? And I was like, that's a great question. Here's Don Garber's number. Call him, ask him.
Oh man. Wouldn't it be crazy if like MLS Cup was like a best of 3, man? You just treat this thing like a World Series. That'd be nuts.
But at least before, when they had best of 3 or like home and home with aggregate leading up to MLS Cup, MLS Cup was always a one-off, but like I liked this home and home idea because at least then it's like, okay, now I know there are problems with aggregate goals and away goals or whatever, but like to me, that at least felt better than this like weird best of 3, then one-off. I don't know. That
As a fan, you're going to see some goals. I mean, if they got to pad their, aggregate score, it's like, okay, we might see some goals today, boys.
And I think there's some more strategy in like, oh yeah, do we bunker on the road and try to then win at home? Or do we go for that away goal on the road and then try to come back and bunker at home? Or like, I think that's fascinating to me. But
yeah,
clearly MLS didn't think so.
I know.
So, but pick one and stick with it, Dawn. So if you're listening, you got anything else for our good listeners this week?
I do not.
No,
let's send it home.
I think that's it. Thank you all so much for listening. Again, not a lot of sporting Kansas City news, but I'm glad that we had some pretty major MLS news to talk about this week. So we'll see what continues to come. I do believe there are Major League Soccer games coming back up at some point in the near future. Yes, Saturday, MLS playoffs are back. Vancouver takes on LAFC. And then Sunday, we have Cincinnati and Miami, Philadelphia and New York, and then Monday is San Diego and Minnesota. So all of those are happening before we'll be back next week. We'll talk about the results of those games. We'll talk about the conference finals and what's coming then. But appreciate y'all. Please make sure you leave us that 5-star rating and review if you have not done so. Make sure you follow us on socials at NoOtherPod, at Dan Kooser, at JCMac03. Leave us an email, nootherpod@gmail.com, or check us out on YouTube, KCSN Soccer, or via the Kansas City Sports Network app. But until next time, he's Dan. I'm Jimmy. We'll catch y'all later. See ya.
Changes.